When we think of fossils, we imagine silent bones locked in stone. But fossils don't just tell us what dinosaurs looked like. They tell us how they lived. And sometimes, how they died. Some were gored by their own kind. Some were eaten alive from the inside by parasites. Others were torn apart by rivals. Or buried alive while protecting their young. These are not stories of quick deaths. These are stories of pain, struggle, and survival gone wrong. What you're about to hear are 6 of the most brutal dinosaur deaths ever discovered, written directly into the fossil record. Modern animals like rams fight brutally during mating season. They slam skulls together, break horns, and sometimes die. But prehistoric headbutting made modern rams look harmless. One of the most shocking examples comes from Triceratops, a 26-foot-long, 10-ton walking fortress of bone and horn. For millions of years, Triceratops stood its ground against T-Rex. Yet, ironically, its deadliest enemy wasn't a predator. It was another Triceratops. In South Dakota, paleontologists uncovered one of the most famous fossils ever found, a Triceratops nicknamed Big John. Over 60% of his skeleton was intact. But one injury stood out. A massive oval-shaped hole punched straight through his skull frill. At first, scientists thought it was fossil damage, but closer inspection revealed healing around the edges. Big John survived the initial injury. Experts believe another Triceratops drove its horn straight through Big John's frill, a violent, bone-piercing impact. The wound cut dangerously close to nerves and blood vessels. Every movement of his head, every bite of food, every defensive stance, would have been agony. Bone remodeling suggests Big John lived for months, possibly longer, with a hole in his skull. The leading theory is that infection from the wound eventually killed him, slowly and painfully. Big John's fossil is a reminder that even herbivores were warriors. And sometimes, the most dangerous enemy was your own species. Big John's death was horrific, but it may not have been the most painful. That title may belong to a giant Titanosaur, over 40 feet long, one of the largest animals to ever walk the earth. This dinosaur wasn't killed by claws, not by teeth, not by ambush. It was consumed from the inside. Discovered in Brazil and dating back around 80 million years, its leg bones contained strange cavities and deep lesions. CT scans revealed the cause: blood-borne parasites, similar to those found in birds today. These parasites entered the bloodstream, lodged themselves inside tiny blood vessels within the bone, and triggered an immune response so severe that the bone began to break down from within. In living animals, this condition causes burning pain, swelling, fever, and crippling immobility. For a multi-ton Titanosaur, every step would have felt like grinding shattered glass into exposed nerves. Eventually, the leg could no longer support its weight. The dinosaur likely collapsed, unable to migrate, unable to keep up with the herd, unable to reach food or water. Death would have come slowly, through starvation, dehydration, or predators drawn to a helpless giant. Not killed by monsters, but by microscopic invaders. In the late Cretaceous, even apex predators weren't safe. In Alberta, Canada, paleontologists discovered a skull belonging to Daspletosaurus, a close relative of T-Rex. At 30 feet long and 3 tons, it was a bone-crushing predator. But its skull told a chilling story. Deep bite marks scarred the bone. Some had partially healed, proving violent fights occurred while it was alive. Others showed no healing at all. These wounds happened after death. The conclusion was unavoidable. This Daspletosaurus was cannibalized. Another member of its own species fed on its corpse. In modern animals, Komodo dragons, crocodiles, hyenas, cannibalism is common when food is scarce. There is no reason dinosaurs were any different. Imagine surviving brutal fights, only to be eaten by your own kind. In this world, losing a dominance battle didn't just mean defeat. It meant becoming food. Not every brutal death came from violence. Some came from sacrifice. In southern China, scientists uncovered one of the most heartbreaking fossils ever found. An adult oviraptorosaur curled protectively around at least 24 eggs. Its arms were spread wide, its body tucked low. It was brooding, protecting its unborn young. CT scans revealed several eggs contained near-hatching embryos. This was no coincidence. The dinosaur likely died during a sudden sandstorm or a collapsing wall of sediment. The body position tells us something haunting. It didn't flee. It stayed. And it was buried alive. For decades, Oviraptor was wrongly labeled an egg thief. This fossil changed everything. She wasn't a thief. She was a parent. And she died protecting her children. Some dinosaurs didn't die in one moment. They suffered again and again. Meet Parasaurolophus walkeri, discovered in Alberta, Canada. This individual survived a catalog of pain: a fractured pelvis, broken ribs, jaw lesions, and a crushed neck vertebra. Each injury alone would have been devastating. Together, they tell a story of relentless misfortune. One theory suggests the neck injury came from a falling tree. Yes, after surviving predator attacks, this dinosaur may have been crushed by nature itself. Bone remodeling shows it survived these injuries. It kept migrating, kept feeding, kept living in constant pain. The final cause of death remains unknown. Possibly infection, possibly exhaustion. But peace was unlikely. Our final case is one of the eeriest fossils ever discovered. An Edmontosaurus, nicknamed Dakota, was found with preserved skin, muscles, and tendons. This wasn't just fossilized, it was mummified. Evidence suggests Dakota died near a riverbank. Its body rapidly dehydrated before scavengers could reach it. But here's the brutal part. Dakota shows bite marks and injuries that never healed. It may have been attacked, wounded, and then slowly died, its body drying out under the sun while still alive, or shortly after death. No mercy, no quick end, just exposure, dehydration, and time. These fossils remind us that prehistory wasn't just epic, it was brutal. Dinosaurs didn't just die from predators. They suffered from disease, from rivals, from accidents, and from nature itself. Their bones remember what flesh forgot. And millions of years later, they still whisper their final moments to us. Which of these deaths do you think was the most brutal? Let us know in the comments, and if you want more stories buried in stone, check out the next video on your screen. Like the video, subscribe, and stay curious.